Hello everybody! Especially special hello to any beginner clay artists out there. Thank you for giving this tutorial a shot, and let's get started. Today I'll teach you how to make 3 different types of little clay creatures. A penguin, a snail, and a cat. But first, here's a little info about today's tutorial. We'll be using a clay that dries when baked. I'm currently using the Sculpey brand of clay because I find it's not messy or sticky to work with. You'll also need some parchment paper or wrapping paper as a mat for your workspace. We won't be using any advanced tools in this lesson. I recommend painting it with a layer of acrylic paint and some Mod Podge to finish it off. Our first stage is sculpting. Knead your clay until it's soft and moldable. To make a penguin, shape some clay into a cylinder by rolling it into a ball, then pressing harder while rolling to stretch it out. As you roll, make it slightly more narrow at one end. It should look like a tall gumdrop. At its wider base, pull one small area outward, making sure to keep it relatively flat and small. This is its little tail. To make its head, gently press and run your fingers along the body to curve its top end up and forward. Press the tip of it down to make its beak smaller and pointier. And there you have it, a simple clay penguin that can stand on its own. To make a snail, shape clay into a ball and then roll it into an oval. Flatten it on one side and press the sides down so that it resembles cloth draping over the top. Press the top a little flatter. At one end, press the clay thinner and smaller. This will be your snail's tail. At the other end, add a gumdrop-shaped bit of clay on top of it, and press its edges until they blend flush with the base. This is your snail's head. Take 2 little bits of clay and shape them into little sticks. Then press them onto your snail's head. Take care not to make them too thin or they won't stay. Our little friend just needs a shell. Now, take a larger bit of clay and form it into a long, thick baguette. Roll this up and choose one side to press flat. Pull the edges all around the flat bit outward a little so they can go over the snail's body. Then, place the shell atop your snail and fold the edges over the snail's body. Now you have a snail! To make a cat, roll clay into an oval, then press to make one of its ends narrower than the other. Pull the very end of the heavier end outward. Smooth the areas so it has a rounded flow to it. This is your cat's tail. For paws, take tiny bits of clay and shape them into little rounded sticks. Flatten each one at one end and slide that end under the body to affix the limb to it. Leaving the unflattened part sticking out from underneath the body. I made the arms outstretched on this one. For the head, take a small ball of clay. Carefully shape the clay into an upside-down pentagon that protrudes outward. Pull on 1/4 of it to form a head and neck. Smooth the connecting clay between the head and neck to ensure it stays on. Feel free to add more clay onto the cheeks if they look too thin. For the little mouth and nose area, take an itty-bitty ball of clay and flatten it, then press it to the very tip of the cat's face. To create the ears, shape tiny bits of clay into flat triangles and press them onto the head of your cat. A few adjustments of posing later, And there you have your cat. The box will tell you how long to bake your creation. Mine uses a ratio of 15 minutes for every 1/4 inch of thickness. If the thickness varies, calculate for the thickest part and remove it when it is no longer soft. Now on to painting. I recommend adding a full layer of white first. After you paint with the intended colors, and once it's dry, add a layer of Mod Podge to give it a more glossy sheen. Congratulations! Enjoy your little clay buddy!